Hello, today we're going to focus on decimal representation. In this picture here, we have a place value chart. And in the number that we have a whole number and we have a piece of a whole, and together that creates my number. But notice here we have my decimal point. To the left of my decimal point are always my whole numbers. Here we have the first digit to the left of my decimal point is the digit in the ones place, tens, then we have hundreds, thousands, and so on. To the right of my decimal point are pieces of my whole. We always have first the tenths place, hundredths place, and today we're going to explore the thousandths place, and then it goes to 10,000ths, 100,000ths, and so on. Now, here what we're going to do is we have a number written in expanded form. Our goal is to write this decimal in standard form. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at the numbers given to me. I notice I have some whole numbers and I notice I have some fractions, which is telling me that these fractions are a piece of a whole, which means I'm going to have a decimal point. Now, I'm going to draw some lines to represent each digit to the left of my decimal point and to the right of my decimal point. Now, if I take it digit by digit, I see 100. That's the value of the digit in my hundreds place. Therefore, the digit in my hundreds place is a 1. Now here, I have my tens place and I happen to see 50. That's telling me the value of the digit in my tens place is 50. Therefore, that digit is 5. Now we just have a 3 here, so that simply goes in my ones place. But now I need to move to the right of my decimal point. And I notice I have 5/10. That's telling me that's the value of the digit in my tenths place, which the tenths place is immediately to the right of my decimal point. Therefore, the digit would be a 5. Now in my hundredths place, I have 4/100ths, which is telling me that digit is a 4. So now this is creating this number that's written in standard form to be called 153 and 54/100ths. Now again, we're going to do the same thing. And notice here I see a whole number and I see fractions. That's telling me that I'm going to have a decimal point and I'm going to have a whole number and I'm going to have some digits to the right of my decimal point. So I'm going to start with the 7. 7 ones is telling me that the digit in my ones place is a 7. Now I have 1/10. That's telling me that digit in my tenths place is a 1. 7/100ths, the digit in my hundredths place is a 7. And 6/1000ths is telling me that digit in the thousandths place is a 6, giving me the number 7 and 176/1000ths. Now, in this problem here, we have a number written in word form. Our goal is to write this in standard form. So let's first read this. 9 and 15,000ths. Now, when I hear and, that's telling me I have a decimal point. And I have 9, so I just have 9 ones, and 15,000ths. But when I hear thousandths, that's telling me I have to have 3 digits to the right of my decimal point. And I only have 15 thousandths. But I don't have a digit here in my tens place, but I still need to include a 0 to represent that this number is showing me that this is equivalent to 15 thousandths. Now when I put this all together, I have 9 and 15 thousandths. Here I have another number written in word form, and our goal is to write this in standard form. We have 20 and 104 thousandths. So just like the previous problem, I have 20 and, which is telling me I need to show a decimal point because I have a whole number and I have a piece of a whole. So now I have 20 and 104 thousandths. Now that's all you have to do. Now if you would like to draw these lines to represent each digit and label them, that's fine, as tenths, hundredths, thousandths. You're welcome to do that as well. Now in this problem, we have another number written in expanded form. This time, instead of fractions, I see decimals. My goal is to write this number now in standard form. So I see all these whole numbers here, so that means I'm going to have a decimal point. Because then I see decimals that are less than 1, which is a piece of a whole. So now let's take it digit by digit. I see 400, which is telling me that digit in my hundreds place is a 4. I see 50, which is telling me that digit in my tens place is a 5. And I see a 1, which is simply in my ones place. But now here I see we have a decimal going all the way up to the thousandths place, which is telling me I will have 3 digits to the right of my decimal point. So now I have 9/10. Now 9/10 is the same as 9/10. So we're going to follow the same process as we did in those previous problems. So now here 9/10 is telling me that digit in my tenths place is a 9. And 8/100 is the same as 8/100. They're equivalent. And that's telling me that digit in my hundredths place will be an 8. And now I have 6/1000, which is the same as 6/1000, which is telling me the digit in my thousandths place is going to be a 6, giving me a number of 451 and 986 thousandths. Now for this next problem here, we also have another number written in expanded form, except it looks a little different than the other numbers written in expanded form. However, we're still going to follow the same exact process. So I notice here I have some whole numbers and I have fractions that are less than 1, which is telling me I have a piece of a whole. So immediately I'm going to draw my decimal point. And I notice we go up to the hundreds place here. So that's telling me I need to have 3 digits to the left of my decimal point. To the right of my decimal point, I see we're going up to the thousandths, which is telling me I'm going to have 3 digits to the right of my decimal point. So let's take it digit by digit. We have 7 times 100, which that is equivalent to 700. And if we have 700, that's telling us the value of the digit in my hundreds place. So that digit is going to be a 7. Now we have 4 times 10, which is also 40, which is telling me the value of the digit in my tens place is 40. Therefore, that digit is a 4. Now, I don't see anything in the ones place, but I still need to include that 0 then. Now I'm going to move to the right of my decimal point. I have 1 times 1/10, which we know is equivalent to 1/10. And that's that value of the digit in my tenths place. Therefore, the digit is a 1. Now I have 3 times 100th, which is equivalent to 3/100. And notice this is telling me again that that digit in my hundredths place is going to be a 3. And I'm going to follow the same pattern, moving to my thousandths place. So 6 times 1,000ths is 6,000ths. So therefore, that digit in my thousandths place would be a 6, giving me the number 740 and 136 as my answer. As always, when you're working to represent decimals in standard form, I recommend you take a look at the place value chart, draw it digit by digit, and it will hopefully help you understand and write these numbers in standard form. As always, feel free to refer back to this video at any time on my YouTube channel.